Welcome to How to Cook That. I'm Reardon and this is The Sweetest Thing. This is a new series that I'm doing on my channel and I'm on a mission to find other people who are as crazy about desserts as I am. Today we're going to make this incredible dessert and it looks amazing and it's inside this ice teardrop which looks impossible to make, but it's really not that hard to create. Everyone has the potential to be creative, but often they're just too nervous or too scared to try. We had no TV for ages when I was growing up, so me and my sister always had to come up with creative ideas to keep ourselves occupied. So one summer's day it was really hot and we found this sheet of corrugated iron in the backyard and we thought this will make the best slippery slide ever. So we put it on a slope and then we got the dishwashing detergent and we squirted that all over it, and then we went and got the hose and just sprayed the hose on. And being the youngest, I was super excited. I went, I'm going first, and ran down and locked my elbows into the grooves and slid down super fast. The only problem was it was old corrugated iron that we'd found in the backyard and it had been used before, and where the nails had been hammered through and then pulled out, there were like these jagged pieces of metal sticking up. So you can imagine what happened next. It was just like blood and mum and tears, and then she fixed it all up, band-aids. I've still got scars on my elbows from it. And then we were on to the next adventure. I think being bored as a kid actually forces you to be creative. Whenever we said I'm bored, Mum would say, occupy yourself. So we'd go and think of something to do. So I used to love drawing, I still love painting. A little while ago I did this painting, which is actually a forgery of a Norman Rockwell painting called The Runaway, which Jed really likes now because he likes policemen. He says he looks at this painting in the morning and looks at the policeman talking to little boy. And I also did this other one which you've probably seen on my kitchen wall before, which is my version of a family tree. And it's got different things on there that represent different people in our family. So it's got the typewriter there because Dave is a writer, he used to be a journalist, he's writing a novel, and it's got some poems that my kids did, and it's got a little footprint from Jed because he was too little to write when I did it, and then it's got some cooking stuff, of course, for me because that's what I do, and that's where most of my creative time and energy and passions go now, is into making creative cakes and designing recipes and then turning them into fun videos. And I'm always on the lookout for other artistic and creative people who are doing new things, that they're not just copying everyone else. So I was really excited when I found Mike Belcher's feed on Instagram because he had some cool looking desserts on his feed. So we're going to fly to Melbourne and go and check them out.
Well, thanks for coming down and visiting us.
And it's like an ice crystal sort of sculpture around the dessert. How on earth do you make that?
It's pretty simple once you actually break it down to stages. So we have just a normal balloon.
Yep.
We're just going to fill it up at the tap. So we're just going to remove that air pocket so you get a really nice long stem that comes all the way up. And then we hang it with a piece of string and set it in the freezer. Now if you want to have a flat bottom, you can have a tray and that'll flatten off the bottom here.
So this is frozen but not all the way through. Whoa!
And just like that. So what we do is remove our balloon.
That is beautiful. It looks like a glass sculpture.
So now we need a blowtorch.
Right.
And we're going to hit it bang in the middle. So we're just going to release all this water, which is going to make it a lot easier to open up and create a nice big cavity.
Beautiful. So we put that back in the freezer and then move on to the vanilla bean panna cotta. What are the ingredients for that one?
So we've got water to hydrate our gelatin. We have our gelatin, milk, caster sugar, vanilla bean, and we also have our 35% full cream.
I'll put all of the recipe quantities on the howtocookthat.net website in grams and ounces and cups, and I'll add a link to that below. What do we do first?
First we're going to put our cream into our saucepan, take it to a bit of a simmer, dissolve the sugar. We need to scrape out the seeds, and we're going to put that straight in and get a little bit of heat going through our vanilla bean to start releasing the flavour. So while that's coming to a gentle simmer, we're going to start hydrating our gelatin. So I put it in there.
All in there.
We're going to remove it. We're going to add a little bit of our milk, probably like a third. We're going to get our gelatin. That's going to go into our warm cream.
And just stir it till it's melted. Do you want the rest of this milk?
I can go all at once.
And then tip it into the glasses.
The whole idea of a good panna cotta should just be set. As it's on your spoon, it should have a gentle wobble to it. It shouldn't be firm. When it hops in your mouth, it should just dissolve.
So just melt in the mouth.
Exactly.
Okay, so now for that juicy compressed pineapple, what do we need?
So we've got a backpack bag here. So we just open this one up. I've got my diced pineapple, which we're just going to put straight in. Got our star anise. And we're also going to put our leftover vanilla bean from our panna cotta. So that's going to go in.
So nothing's wasted?
I'm going to get the most bang for our buck out of that vanilla bean. Sugar is really to taste. So it just goes in. And then for us, This is where we'll put it under vacuum.
And seal it.
Seal it all up.
If you don't have a vac pack or a sous vide at home, you can just use a food-safe, watertight plastic bag and submerge that in a pot of warm water for about 30 minutes and then take it out and leave it in the fridge overnight for those flavours to infuse. This bit we're making the mango spheres, which I like because they just like pop in your mouth. What is going in these?
We have our calcium gluconolactate, we have our caster sugar, and we have our mango and lime puree.
What's the purpose of the calcium salts in this?
So what that does is helps create the skin on the spear. Right? So we need to have the right amount of calcium to cause a reaction with the sodium alginate in our bath. It's just a matter of combining all our ingredients together. Okay, so we've got a mango, it's a nice bit of sweetness, and then we've got a lime for a little bit of acidity.
Great. So now we're just going to pour them into the mould. These are really creative desserts that you're making. You obviously like the creative side of food.
But definitely with pastry, I think there's a lot more scope for creativity. We like to play, and we like to, create experiences that people can sort of have a bit of interaction with the desserts.
And then this is going in the freezer till it's solid, is that right?
Yeah, it has to be completely solid so you can unmold it.
To make the gel around the outside, we have to make another part, don't we?
Exactly, we need to make the bath. So what we have in here is we've got our sodium alginate. So this is what's going to cause a reaction with our sphere.
This is like gelatin, but it only gels if there's calcium.
Yep, exactly. So you do need to use a stick blender. So we've got our water. We're going to get the stick blender going. We're going to create a little bit of movement going there so it doesn't clump.
Okay, so you just kept going till all those lumps were gone.
We've got a bit of a foam going, so we're going to leave it for a while.
So all those bubbles can disappear.
Okay, so what we're going to do is put maybe like 2 or 3 of these into our sodium bath. So we're just going to keep it agitated. We don't want them to sit on the bottom of the mixing bowl.
And they look very bright yellow like an egg yolk.
It's a bit of an illusion, you want to create something so people go, what is that? And then when it goes in their mouth, it's different, and that's the talking point. Yeah. Exactly. So when it's ready, after our 3.5 minutes, to stop the gelification process, we're going to put it into cold water.
Perfect. Now to make those round Isomalt decorations using powdered Isomalt and cookie cutters.
Exactly. We want to create just a nice even layer. As we get another silicone mat, we're going to lay that on top as well. So I want to create a bubble effect. So by putting one on top, conducts the heat a lot nicer as well. So it's nice and holy and very thin. Okay,
now can you show me your plating magic of how you're going to bring this all together?
Okay, so what we're going to do here, we're just going to get some of our compressed pineapple. Now you want to keep a bit of that syrup there as well because that syrup's full of flavour. So we have a little micro mint. It's a nice little delicate flavour. Lemon balm's got a great flavour. It goes really well with the star anise and your sort of your Asian flavours there. Then we're going to have a little sugar disc. That sits nicely on top of that.
Balancing on top.
Sphere on top. This is where you have to be careful. This little sphere here is as delicate as a yolk. You usually centre that right there like that. One more little thing we might add, just a little bit of bling, is a little bit of gold leaf. It looks gorgeous. Now we just need to put that in our ice droplet.
How did you make sure it didn't slide on this plate? How have you secured that?
Okay, so we've had a frozen plate. So as soon as the little bit of moisture on the bottom of the teardrop hits the bottom of the plate, it'll create a nice little bond, it'll hold there.
That's clever.
I'm just going to use a little bit of the crushed ice. I'm just going to put that around just to create like a little bit of another rustic look. And then we just got some nice little violas.
And these are edible flowers?
Yep, edible flowers. So then it's just a matter of very gently.
Very carefully.
Very carefully. Dropping that bang into the centre there.
Wow. Okay, can I taste it? That's what I really want to do.
Exactly. Let's just get in there.
Mango and pineapple first. And the crunch of the sugar. That's good when you eat it all together.
And a little bit of the creaminess of the vanilla panna cotta.
And you're right, that just melts on your mouth. So it looks amazing, but it's my kind of dessert. It also tastes amazing. I want to just keep eating all this. I'm going to eat it in a minute. But thank you so much for having me today and showing me all the different processes and how to make this beautiful presentation. It's just amazing.
Well, thanks for visiting us.
Subscribe to How to Cook That for more cakes, chocolates and desserts. Click here for the recipe, here for my YouTube channel. Make it a great week and I'll see you all on Friday.